You do that. Yeah, sorry. I do this man. You do it. Big bad and you're tonight. Really, you to go through it. I got it. It's right early. It's in my trade. I'll hit it on. Well, that's it. Yeah, I have done it's great. I have to that. But she didn't, she was fine, she believes to do it. Because I didn't. So when we were down there, in line, kind of be friends, that's what I think I say. And so I went and got it and I get all of them songs that are coming there, but. You know, looking forward, then, oh, I know. I might go down and then for minutes. Just something different. Yeah, does have hair. I don't know. Good. We're going to start it. You want to sit down? Yeah, there you go. Whistling words. Okay, well, welcome to our sales meeting today. We actually are going to do our format in reverse because Rob and I have to leave at 10:30 to go downtown Salt Lake for an event, RPAC event. So here's how it's going to work is that First Colony has the extra time today, and they're going to be doing that after Rob and I are done, or Rob's done. And so Tana's going to take over the sales meeting when we're done. She's our educating coordinator online, and so there she is. And so we're gonna go ahead and start with Rob, and then y'all get your time after Rob. So
that's one way that I can keep you around in order to secure the messaging, right? So I'm sure you guys are all excited about that. So first off, I haven't met you before. I'm Rob Ockey. I'm new to the company, the COO here. So I'm grateful to be able to be here. This has been a great experience. A little bit about myself is I've been in the business since '94. I was one of the owners of the previous company I was with. Built that up to a pretty sizable company, and just was excited for a change and wanted to be able to spread some news over here. So thank you for having me here. And we'll jump in with a couple of questions. So this is going to be interactive. I need participation. I have some questions going to be there. But first question I have for you: what motivates and moves people into buying something?
Emotions.
Emotion. Okay. Love that.
Change of circumstances.
Okay. Life circumstances, things that are, things that change. Absolutely.
Money.
Meaning,
It's a good deal.
I'm going to say, if it's priced right. Okay. Any other thoughts? Sorry, what was that?
Divorce.
Divorce circumstances. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Jobs.
So what if you had something that is the same item, but you buy it at one location, you can buy it at two separate locations. It's more money in one location than at the other. Where are you going to go to buy that item?
Same quality.
Same item, exact same item. One place has it for more money.
Depends on how far it is.
No, I think I like the sound. Surrounding area lot.
It could be any of those. It could be any of those. So let's break it down. Let's say an article of clothing that's sold at Nordstrom's, and the exact same piece of clothing is also sold at Walmart. Where are you going to buy it? Nordstrom's. Okay, but it's more expensive at Nordstrom's than it is at Walmart. Same item, same item,
I'm a Walmart.
Same.
guy.
okay?
What do you have?
The reputation.
I thought at Walmart, the stars could be different, just
The
because,
reputation.
like the reputation and all of that. Return policy. Return policy is a big one. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to Walmart.
So, but Nordstrom succeeds, doesn't it?
Mhm. Yes.
So is it fair to say that Nordstrom's, they don't cater to everybody? Is it fair to say that? Do you think they know who their their customer is? Are they intending to cater to everybody? No, they have an idea who their, Walmart's probably, let's cater to everybody. However, this is still our model, right? Okay, so. What business are we in? What business are you in?
The people business.
Okay, I like that.
That's
Service. Okay. What are you selling?
insurance.
Okay.
We're in the marketing business.
Insurance. The other, what else is being sold?
A home, like a future.
We're selling all lifestyle.
We're in the marketing business.
Okay,
Yeah.
marketing what?
Ourselves.
Who was that?
Tyler.
Tyler Monty.
All right, that is a solid answer. You are in the business of selling yourself. Okay? Doesn't matter what you're selling yourself. Whether it be real estate, whether it be title, whether it be mortgage, doesn't matter. You've got to sell yourself first. Right? If your client does not buy into who you are or what you're doing, it doesn't matter what the product is. You either will or will not make a sell. Fair enough? Okay? Same thing on where, the example of whether it be Nordstrom's, whether it be Walmart. The same product, people started to say it. Some said, hey, I'm just gonna go to Walmart. Okay, great. Some said, I'm gonna go to Nordstrom's. Because what? What was different? Why is someone gonna go spend more money at Nordstrom's than go to spend less money at Walmart? Why are they gonna do that?
Better experience.
Okay, better experience.
That's
Okay,
reputation.
what's the word for all of this? Okay, so we'll give one word to that. What word comes to mind if we were to lump that in? Everything you just said. Experience. The value. Value you're getting, it's about features and benefits, right? What value is being offered? If the value is there, you're gonna pay the money. Doesn't matter what it is. If the value is there, you will pay the money. If the value is not, you either don't buy it, or you say, lower the price till it's cheap enough, so it's worth the value. Let's be honest, we've all bought a $15, $20, $35, $40, $50 hamburger before, and we bought the $2 hamburger. We've done it, and many times I bought a $50 hamburger, I'm like, this was not worth the $50. It wasn't. And the $2 one is exactly worth $2, right? But we've been there, we've done all that. So what I'm trying to get around is this comes down to mindset. First off, what do you believe? What is it you're trying to sell? How you're selling it? And do you believe what you are selling? Because if you do not believe what you are selling, then the value is going to come down to price. Think about this. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Go ahead.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Remind me your name again.
Courtney.
Courtney. Okay, so we are at the same company right now, right? Let's say that you and I are going on a listing appointment, and our experience, our length in the business, everything that we have is the same. So all of your marketing stuff that you purchased, everything that you have is exactly what I have. Okay? Trying to create a level playing field, right? So you're on the listing presentation, and is it fair to say that your MLS and my MLS is the exact same? Okay, is it fair to say 95%, maybe 99% of the sign that we use is the exact same? Okay. So now can I put you on the spot?
Sure.
What was your name?
Lori.
Lori. Okay, so you're the seller. Courtney and I are going in and meeting with you. And if you're talking about your sign or your MLS, what would you say to her about that?
About like what it is.
Just in general, if you could have 15 seconds to talk about MLS and sign, what would you say to Lori?
Heard that the MLS is super important, especially if you want to reach the potential type of buyers that you want. And the sign out there will also bring in anybody that's just driving by on a day with their family to bring in for you. It's important.
And remember, you and I, we're selling ourselves to try to compete for this listing. Now, I've got the same MLS and sign. So if I come in and say the same thing, is that gonna weigh you any differently? Like, oh, she's got the MLS, I got the MLS, there's no different. Who believes that the MLS is different than your MLS out there is the same as everyone else's? Who believes that? And no one raised a single hand, so that tells me that's okay if you don't. Just
Manipulate it differently.
all the information.
Okay, I'm just glad this is information, but it's how to empty.
You use.
Okay. Okay, so is the MLS the same for everybody? Yes or no?
No. I don't even know. I mean, I say.
Hands, yes, believe it is.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It is.
Who believes no? Okay. Who has voted? I'm sure honest. We're trying to get some honesty here. Okay. Talk about the sign. Is it the same?
MLS, I believe the MLS is the same for everybody. Everybody's different. And so it's how they use it and, you know, how they apply it.
How they utilize it.
Okay. So we're talking, give us the first kind of thing, what we're talking about. We're talking about when we are in the business of selling ourselves, how we go about doing certain things like that. Okay. So the sign. We already said it's about 99% about the exact same, right? In fact, you can check out the company sign, it's gonna be the exact same as everybody else's, and you add a little bit of a rider to make it different, right? But it's basically the same. So who believes it's the same? Okay, we have a couple of you, you got a couple of these. Who believes it's not the same? Okay, so we have 2 votes. And then who didn't vote in? All right.
I'm just telling.
Oh, good. All right. We'll get there. We're running out of time. First up, I believe that my sign is completely different than yours. My MLS is completely different than yours. Okay, so the difference. The person who's answering the phone is the difference. Because if I have the ability to persuade you as a client and show that the value that I'm bringing to the equation is far better than Courtney's, even though I may charge more money, if you believe that you're going to make more money using my services than using Courtney's, would you rather work with me or would you rather work with Courtney if you're going to net more money? Okay, so the sign itself, when someone calls on a sign, if you believe that I am the best person for this job to help you get what you want, net the most amount of money, would you rather have me answer the phone when someone calls, or would you rather have Courtney answer the phone? You'd rather have me. So my sign makes all the difference in the world to have my sign in your yard than having Courtney's in your yard. Because when that phone rings, I'm the one that's going to be answering it. Same thing with the MLS. How many of us have gone through an MLS where the home sat on the market? Okay, first off, how many of you guys have been in the business longer than 5 years? Okay, there's a few of you. All right. How about 8 years? Okay, I'm here to let you know. The time to work has come. Okay, the last 5 to 8 years, you haven't had to work. That's just the clear cut reality. And the good part about it is especially the last 3 years, it didn't require a skill set. Anybody can list a property, anybody can sell a property. It required no skills. Now it's going to require skills. And if you are the one that is working and getting your skills up, you will make more money now than you did in the last 2 to 3 years.
Amen.
This is going to be a great opportunity if you have the mindset that I'm here to work, I'm here to make this a career, and make this a business. Because the ones that, just as it was 10 years ago, we had 6,000 agents in the Salt Lake board. Now we got over 10,000. Those are the agents that, oh, now it's not easy, I have to go get a real job. Okay, so if we decide who we're going to be, it's going to be right here. So back to what I said, like on the MLS, I can't tell you how many times that where I've taken a listing that back when they weren't selling in 3 hours, actually an average day on market would be, that 45 to 60 day range. Okay. The majority of my business, just so you know, came from working with for sale by owners and expires. And why is a for sale by owner trying to sell it on their own? To do what? Save money. But yet 30% of my listings I took up for sale by owners, I took it at 7% with a $4.95 additional commission. But yet they wanted to save money. And I was able to persuade them that, hey, I can net you more money using my services than you doing it on your own, even though you're going to pay me 7%. In fact, actually, most of the time they wouldn't even ask in the presentation how much the commission was, because the presentation satisfied all of their concerns. So on the mindset of everything, if you believe you are the solution to their problem, then you will be. If you believe that you will get only 4% when you take a listing, and that's all you're going to get. If you believe that you are worth more, I'm not saying you're going to get it every single time. Have I reduced commission? Of course I have. But if I believe that whatever you believe, you are more inclined to get that than if you don't believe it. So in this business, you can either work, you can always work harder. You can also work smarter. Would you rather sell 2 homes that are, $500,000 a piece? Or would you rather sell 1 home that's $500,000 and make the same amount of money? Okay, I'd rather sell just the 1 home. If I could make the exact same dollar amount selling 1 home instead of doing 2, I don't need to pad my stats anymore. Oh, I've sold 50 homes this year. Okay, but I only made the same amount of money as the person who sold 10. You can work harder, you can work smarter. Now you got to work hard, but if you can work smart at the same time, great. What I mean by that is if you take a listing that's only going to pay you 1.5% versus a 3%, you're going to have to sell. You got to do 2 options. You either got to increase your price point, so sell $1 million home instead of a $500,000 home, or increase what you're worth. And I promise you, if you believe you are worth what's there, you will get it more often than not. So it starts back on that mindset. What do you believe you're worth? If you go on a listing presentation, and then again, it was Tyler. Yeah, Tyler's one that said, we are selling ourselves. And I think I heard it in the very first, Courtney, you said emotion at the beginning, okay? Is selling a home, unless you're an investor, to be honest, it is emotional. Talking about people getting divorces, people are changing jobs, people whatever. In our industry, I'm not trying to get morbid or anything, but people are always going to die. People are always going to get a divorce. People are always going to have children and have to get in their first home. They're always going to they're going to change jobs. They're going to have to downsize. Life happens in everything that we do. So when that life is happening, our job is to get in the way of that emotional experience and hopefully be a solution. There's 2 things that the way that people sell, in my opinion. They either manipulate or they persuade. What do you think the difference is? Because both of them can produce a sale. But what do you think the difference is on the two?
One's integrity is honest.
Yeah.
Same kind of intense. Have the same thing, yeah.
That's how your client's gonna feel after the transaction.
Okay. What do you think is long-term? There's one that's long-term, one short-term. You want to choose either long-term or short-term? I come up with recording signs now, signs. I mean, you may or may not sign the paperwork. But if you sign it right then and there, they're gonna walk in, call the cops, say, hey, he forced me to sign something. I mean, they're signing because they're scared, it's short-term. But if I persuade, if I can share with you, hey, Courtney, you know, everything's gonna be okay. You wanna accomplish X, Y, and Z. That's why we're here together. Because I want to accomplish the same thing with you. And if I can accomplish what we're trying to accomplish, you're gonna be able to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. Does that sound like a good opportunity? I can tell you. And this is a rhetorical question, we've all had presentations that went well and others that didn't. The presentations, the listing presentation that you go on or a title experience, or you're trying to sell, whatever business you're doing. When a presentation goes well, the close is simple. It is simple. Because there's no concern. You've handled the objections. They feel like, oh, well, yeah, you are the solution. Great. Hey, just go ahead and sign the paperwork. And when the presentation goes well and you're doing the close, many times the close, you may not even have handled the commission, what the cost is. I have 4 sub-by owners that, of course, they're trying to save whatever, and again, 30% of the time, I get a 7% listing plus a $495. They had a family member that was also a realtor, and those are the two big concerns. They knew somebody that was a realtor and they wanted to save money, but yet they ended up signing the paperwork with me because in the presentation, it was a process. How many of you, and we've all done this, but I'm hoping to shift a little bit of this. How many work mostly with buyers? Anybody? Okay. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Let's tell them in finance once in a while, but yeah, right. Thanks for your honesty. Is this uncommon? Sorry, is this uncommon when a buyer calls up, hey, I saw this property and I just want to be able to get it. Can you show me the property? That's a very common question, right? What do you typically do? Okay, you go show them the property, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's just a realty.
Okay, great. Are you working with an agent? No. Okay, great. Yes, pre-qualified. Okay. You go show them the property. Now you show them the property. I've seen what I want. It's not the property that I'm interested in. Now what value are you bringing? Got everything I needed. I wanted to see the property.
We absolutely ask questions what they like, but they
You
didn't
have
like.
that rapport with them to say, okay, we looked at this home. So what are the things that you're changing your mind on? Like what, you know,
Narrow it down for us.
yeah, exactly. Narrow it down and just listen. Sorry.
I wanted to see the property.
Yep.
And they're going to try to sell me on something or try to get me there, whatever. I've now seen the property.
I'd ask how you feel about seeing other properties.
Okay, great question. First off, asking questions is always the right approach. So.
When I first started, I kind of farmed a condo community, and I had someone come in and look at, I had one listing in there, someone come in, it was actually under contract, and then they were interested in that, and I was like, oh, I can find other ones in here. And I sold them on the area and my expertise of that area. And I sold, my very first year, I sold probably almost 10 in there.
Okay.
That it just,
We're talking to him. How did you explain a little bit about that? Was this all the phone and you still met up at the property or how did you go about it?
since I had a listing, I could meet them there at that listing
Okay.
and show them that one to see if they were interested still in that area. And then I went and knocked doors and got people to sell theirs.
Okay,
And I'm like, I've got people that are interested, are you interested? And I just put parties together
okay,
and it worked out great.
sure, it sounds like it's a great word, that's, Yes.
But I'm just saying, like, they want that, they were interested in that, so feed off of that, like, they're interested in that specific home, that specific area, maybe. So figure out what interests them there. And then try and sell your expertise on finding something similar to
so
this.
if I understand you correctly, it sounds like find out more of what they are looking for, what their needs are.
Mhm.
Okay,
But specifically to that home, because that's what they called you about.
yeah, but is it, how many times have we worked with a buyer that they call them one property and they end up buying the property?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's how you can get your connection from the
Okay.
start. Clearly, it can go wherever after, but once you make that.
What I'm trying to show is, again, we've already established that people are willing to either work with us or pay more or less based on value, right? If in this situation where a buyer calls up and wants to see the property, is it more difficult to show your value in that 10-15 minute opportunity? Okay, like the confidence, not difficult. Okay. If you have an opportunity to say, hey, we could either sit down for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever, versus having a 15-minute conversation or walking through a home, which would you rather prefer? Maybe some of you may not, maybe you want the 15 minutes.
I would do both.
Okay,
They didn't like the property, then sit down with them the lengthier time to discuss what their needs are, why are they moving,
okay,
get more details.
You can also come prepared, we know what they're wanting, and so look up other listings and those with them.
those are all great answers, those are all great answers. And absolutely, you should do this. So one of the skill sets we'll talk about is working with highly qualified buyers. Well, how do you know they're highly qualified until you've actually sat down with them, actually had them meet with a lender? Just because they tell you that they are?
Don't know.
You don't know, right? So if you are, again, we're trying to work harder, or we're trying to be smarter. If I can do things that help check off some boxes, that help me things out, because I can work hard. Let's be honest, a realtor does whatever they can to appear to be busy. To show, oh, I went to work today, tell their wife, they came out, how'd you, oh, I had a great day today. I went and showed 4 homes. Not a single person was getting, didn't sign any by a broker was with me, whatever, but I appeared to be busy. And I got no business that came from it, but I was working, right? I can appear to work hard. Or I can actually show some results that help things out. When I work with, when I work with a seller or a buyer, I have a goal for each one. When I would prospect, I'm working with a listing. Obviously, every single day, my goal was to just set an appointment. Actually, my goal was setting 2 listing appointments a day, was what my goal was. I got my listing appointment, okay, great, that's working with the seller. If I got a phone call from a buyer, my goal was not to go show the property. My goal was to get them into the office. When they call on a phone, because the ones that want to go see the property, if they're adamant, if I didn't meet with the property, they're going to call someone, okay. Because also I represent the seller on that property, right? My seller wants me to bring pre-qualified buyers into the listing. So if I just show up randomly and just take a buyer through property just to go through, am I doing my seller a service? Maybe, maybe not. But if I haven't pre-qualified, I don't know if they can purchase the property. So majority of the time, my client wouldn't want that to happen. So if I got them into the office, the likelihood of them working with me jumped off the charts versus every home I went and looked at with the buyer. It was more difficult to spend immediately, okay, here, hurry here, sign the paperwork so we can work together. Oh, hey, you don't like this home? Okay, I do have 3 or 4 others. Oh, we only set an appointment for, we only had time for this one home. Oh, it's just not gonna be the one. Okay. It's a little more difficult to sell yourself on that spot, especially they got what they came for. When they saw the home, even if I ask a bunch of questions, hey, you know what? I mean, let's be honest. By the way, when you're coming in you do need to phrase your questions differently. So 2 minutes, all right. This literally could be a topic we could talk about all day long. So, but when you're going in, it's like, oh yeah, great, couch can go here. Okay, well, do you know what the size of their couch is? When they said they've got a big, huge, I mean, when you walk into a home and they tell you they got a 8 foot by 10 foot couch, and the room itself is only 8 feet by 10 feet, like where you can sell a house. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you told me that your couch is X size. And I don't think this living room's gonna fit your couch, will it?
Smart.
So do you see how
Yeah.
it's a living room, of course. Here's a living room. Oh, here's the kitchen. Here's the kitchen. But see,
Show that space like.
when I would meet a buyer, I would sit back, first thing, hey, tell me, what is it, Courtney? What are you looking for? What are you trying to find? Area, blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. So what has to happen before you would feel like you'd actually be motivated to make an offer on the property? Oh, well, it has to have X, Y, Z. Okay, great. All right. So now we go through everything. Okay, find out the wants, needs, about the family, everything. So now I know about them, what they're trying to accomplish. And then I sit back and I'm like, okay, do you feel like what we've been doing is kind of what all the other realtors you've been talking about doing? Not a chance. You're the only person that's ever had me come in here. Is that good or is that bad? Hopefully they're gonna say good. That's great. Okay, great. All right. So do you feel that the company that I work for is going to be able to provide it? Oh yeah, I love it. Company's great, great. Okay. Do you feel like the individual, this is why we call it a 3-step close. Company's great. Do you feel like that us working together, that I'm the solution to your problem? Yes, absolutely. You ready to get started? Yes, absolutely. Great. Let's go ahead and sign the paperwork. Now, before I've wasted my time, I've sent out I've got a contract that my client has now signed. They're sold on me that, hey, Rob is the guy. He is the solution to all this. We're going to find a home. And I know what they want. And so every time we go looking for, I can walk in the front. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you said this, I don't think this is the place that is going to fill that need. Did your needs change? Or they don't want to go see a property. I'm confused. This is completely different than the property you told me you wanted to see already. And that's okay if your wants or whatever have changed. But now I'm listening. I'm guiding them through the process. Because my mindset is, I believe this, and this is what you need to believe. If they work with me, they're going to have the best experience than anybody else. If they're a seller, they will net more money working with me. Because I believe that I'm a pretty good persuader and communicator. And if I go, and I'm going to end right on this, that seller is going to have 2 choices. They're going to have me on their side defending them and defending the amount of money that they're going to make on the seller home, because I'm probably going to be stronger communicator than the other agent on the other side. So you got 2 options. You can either have me defending you and the value that you're going to create on your home and how much is going to be put in your pocket, or you're going to run the risk of having me go against you. I wouldn't say it this way because it's argumentative, but this is what's in my head. I'm going to represent the buyer then that's going to compete, and I'm going to now represent my buyer and get them the best deal, because the listing agent isn't going to be as good as I am when it comes to negotiating and offering suggestions and persuading that other side that's like, you need to lower your price, and this is the reason why. I'm going to be giving that information to the listing agent. That's a good point. Seller, hey, I think you should do this, this, and this. This is because otherwise your home's going to sit in the market. You're going to lose X amount of time with the values, prices drop, blah, blah, blah. So now I've got the listing agent conveying what I'm showing to persuade to help my buyer. Because again, my mindset is, I believe I'm the best solution for it. That's where you're going to create the value. That's where this all stems from, is what is your mindset and what value you're able to bring to the table. And then we start working smarter than harder. Okay? The good news is we're going to have a lot of opportunities for more of this stuff. So, all right.
So Rob's next class is February 1st. Okay, so he's going to continue on his topics that he's going to teach on. And so let's, What are you gonna teach on now? Did you decide?
I think it's gonna be handling objections, so I think we want like 3 objections. That you guys are most difficult for you. And then we're gonna show you how easy it is, those objections, because I promise you, they're always the same objections. They don't change.
Okay, all right, we gotta take off, Tana. Meeting's yours. We gotta go, so thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, guys. Great, perfect, put that down. And I would say this, that's awesome, I know, there's 10,000 of them out there.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Can you see me? This is me. Okay. I know this is a little unconventional, but you guys help me out with who's there in the office when the time is right, please. So welcome, welcome. Happy birthday to all those January birthdays.
My gosh,
That's a lot.
I'm the only person that doesn't.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, hi. Now I can kind of see people in there. Perfect. All right. Is there any wants and needs that anybody would like to share?
I do.
Go for it.
Okay, so I have a listing in Riverton. It's on an acre, 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, a sunroom, an apartment over the garage that produces income, and it's also a horse property. So it's listed at 1.8. If anybody has any finds that may be interested, please
And
go.
where was it located?
In Riverton. Wow, yes.
Good to know.
Perfect. Is there anyone else? Is there anybody online that wants to share anything? Okay. All right. I'm not going to do the broker moment because I am not a broker. So that wouldn't be beneficial for you guys. So we'll skip that. This is our next week's classes, and there are a lot of core, wow, 4 hours of core and 2 hours of CE. That's amazing. And these are our weekly closers. Wow, starting off the year right, looks like. Is anyone there that's on this list? Okay. Okay, like Steve mentioned, we're going to go through our preferred affiliates, and first we're going to kind of do it a little backwards a little bit. We're going to give First Colony 10 minutes, and the flyer that you gave me should be on that computer. Alex said it's on the computer up at the front if you want to switch screens or whatever. If you want to.
You got it, you
Not as long as 2 minutes in course. You're good. It's fine.
Done.
And then just hit the arrows.
Oh, it's
Okay, so I'm just gonna talk a little bit about rates and inflation today and how they kind of correlate. So I found this little thing online, so I just liked the way it looked, so I thought it was pretty. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about First Colony. We've been around for almost 40 years, 30 to 40 years next year, so
39, because I was born the same year and I don't want to be 40 yet.
39. No, yeah, so 39 years. So we've been around, we've kind of seen it all. Allie and I have been into the business, what did we decide, over 30 years, something like that
I
together?
got 20 this year, so
Yeah, so it's been a long time. I've been in finance for 25 years. She's been in mortgage for 20 years. So we've
we've been around for a while, as has First Colony. So the great thing about First Colony is we do all of our underwriting in-house. And I know that a lot of people work with brokers, which is great. But a lot of times the hard thing is they do out of the box underwriting. They are not in the house, so they have to send everything in. And if the underwriter says great, then the loan goes through. If not, then it's really hard to convince them to actually do the loan. So with our underwriting, we can walk up to the underwriter, say, hey, this is why we should do this loan, and reason with them, and it's a lot easier to get through. So that is one thing that I really, really love. I've been in the broker world and I've been in the in-house lending, and it's so much nicer, so much less stressful because we can reason with our underwriters, which is awesome. And just quickly, we do offer a lot of different products. We do offer the basics, FHA conventional, USDA, VA, Utah housing, but we have a lot of portfolio loans also, which are bank statement loans, ITIN loans, just kind of out of the norm to try to get those done.
What cities can you do rural housing in? Like what areas are best for that type of loan?
In Utah County, we're looking at Saratoga Springs, Eagle Mountain, and parts of Payson and South.
Okay,
So that's a great loan.
that's a great loan.
Yeah, it's a really great loan. So getting into the rates and inflation, what I wanted to just show you is kind of where we're at right now. So we just came out with December's CPI report, which is the core production index. So that just came out, and we saw a little bit of change in the inflation, not a ton. So nothing really happened with rates. February 14th, we're gonna see, so this is the shelter CPI, and this is the core CPI. So we're gonna see in February, when January's numbers come out, we're gonna see shelter come down, but not see a lot of the core CPI come down. So we're not gonna see a ton of difference in rates. February, we're gonna see the core CPI come down, and we're gonna see the shelter come down, which what we so that comes out in March. So we should see a little bit in rates, but this is just showing you guys how this all correlates. Really what we're looking at is April's numbers that comes out May 10th. So I don't know if you guys remember in November when inflation came out, we had a huge drop in interest rates. It came down like a full point that day. That's what we're gonna kind of see, watch for in May. Is the same type of thing, that those inflation numbers, because they're both going to be coming down, is going to be a huge day for mortgage rates. I know this looks kind of confusing, but so this is a 12-month rolling average, and what every month we drop off the previous year's numbers, and so we want these numbers to come down so that mortgage rates come down. So this May 10th, just keep that in the back of your head. That's going to be a huge day for mortgages. So we should be excited about that.
How long will that last? Like, do you have to, I mean, like, what do you think? Like a week, a day, a month?
Quarter two is going to be looking really good for mortgage rates. It's really what they're predicting. So I follow an economist, and with what I do, and he tells me 4 times a day where rates are going. He's telling me when I should lock, if there's something crazy that happens when we should be locking. This is what he predicted the same thing with November 10th. This is what he's predicting for May 10th. So based on what numbers are showing, this is what he's predicting.
So we should wait to lock till after May 10th?
Well, I mean, obviously we don't want to like not sell homes until May, but this is when we should really see a huge price difference. And spring is always usually pretty big in real estate. So this should help fuel that and make it a pretty good, at least quarter two, really good. And then, I mean, you can kind of see the same thing where we should see a pretty good rest of the year. And then this is what I just wanted to show you too, how inflation correlates with rates. So what we're looking at is, these are kind of where the mortgage rates have been, and this is really blurry, but this is 2018, June 2018, this is July 2022. So this is last year, but you can kind of see how rates and inflation kind of follow each other. It is pretty close. And that's why when I come up here and say, hey, inflation's coming down, so rates are going to be coming down. Historically, that's what it's done. So that's what I wanted to just kind of show you. Obviously, COVID time was a little weird, but for the most part, everything else pretty much follows. I'm not going to read all of this, but all of the economies are taking into the inflation, which then affects mortgage rates. But what I wanted to point out, this is just for New York manufacturing, that everything's kind of falling, but it's showing that manufacturing is kind of in a recession, and it's showing economic weakness, which actually is kind of good for us. It shows that inventories are rising, prices paid are falling, and showing that we should continue to see that good prices are going to fall, which helps our inflation story. So with, again, inflation falling, which the PPI report came out today, and it showed a lot cooler than even what they were predicting. That helps us. That helps our economy to get back to where it should be, inflation to come back down, which then helps mortgage rates, which helps all of us. I just like, this is the economist that I follow, Barry Habib. He is all over the place. He's very, very well known and respected. So this is just one of his quotes: opportunity is all around you. You just have to know how to pick it up. And I really liked that. And then just again, Ali and I are always here. We're happy to help answer any questions. We are around most of the time. If not, we're just a phone call away. We're even happy to run second opinions for your clients to see if we can do something better or come up with a better product that helps your clients. So yeah, that is us. Thanks.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Okay, we will just start at the top. Do we have, is IBEX there or online?
Nope.
Okay. What about Elevate?
Always.
Thanks, now.
I know, it's a little different. I'm Tanner with Elevate Home Warranty, aka the real Slim Shady, aka Rap God, whatever you want to call me. You can call me whatever. But I just wanted to say something before the end of the month. So if you all want to grab out like a notepad or something to write this down, Elevate Home Warranty, we're having a code till the end of the month. Is $50 off any warranty. And the code is New Year 50. So it's a promo code that you just put in at closing. It's super nice for any of the warranty plans that we have. And it's $50 off. I don't know how much time I have. That's probably about how much we're good to go. If Corey were here, he'd probably talk for another minute or two. So, oh yes. So Corey has a lunch tomorrow that he's doing. You can come and he's gonna pay for lunch. It's at Backdoor Burger. And it's in Heber Hatchet in Provo off of University. So you go and throw some hatchets, grab some burgers. Of
Well,
course,
they tried it the other night.
they'll pay for it.
Yeah,
so.
they're good.
And I went and eat, so pretty fun. So $50 off any warranty, and then Backdoor Burger is tomorrow at 11:30, and they're gonna start throwing hatchets and then eat some burgers and stuff. So everybody can attend. Awesome, that's it.
Hey,
Wonderful.
Hey,
Yeah.
Tana, one more thing. First Colony is doing the meeting next Wednesday, and we're having a builder extravaganza. We're having 3 builders come in and talk about different products that they have for you guys. So we would love to have you guys all here. We're actually going to probably have it in our office just across the hall. We're having breakfast, so come and learn about some of the different products that are out, some different builders. So it's going to be an awesome experience. It's at 10, just regular 10.
It's during the sales meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that,
Perfect.
sorry.
No, that's great. Okay, so is OBEO
Nope.
there? Okay. What about Security National or online? Awesome.
I'm Deidre Kay and Pam Bond. Nice to meet you all. We were just gonna do something real fun, real quick and see how much you know about credit. So this is true or false, so just jump out there. One of the best things you could do to improve your credit scores is to close your extra credit card accounts. Oh, that's what? Okay.
An occasional mortgage payment that's over 30 days late doesn't hurt your credit score too much.
Oh.
You can actually drop your scores about 100 points from one rate.
A late payment means you pay a one-time late fee and that's the extent of the cost. Cost. You may pay, maybe you'll also pay a higher rate on financing and insurance. That can add up to thousands of dollars a year.
And then collection accounts should always be paid off prior to closing on a home.
True.
You actually drop your scores. So if it's not recent, if it's an older one, say you've had it for a year or more and you pay it off, show activity now that haven't been showing activity on that trade line. So actually can drop your scores.
Oh, so that's a.
Yeah, closing's better. If required even. And so then also, I know flyers are kind of old school, but we brought these just because I'm not sure, since we're kind of new to your meetings, what you knew about the new medical collections and being reported on credit reports. So no longer are medical collections, once they're paid, they're deleted from a credit report. By law, they have to be. So that was a big one. Also, instead of them being reported now at medical collection after 6 months, it's a full year. So it's giving people a little bit more time to work through those medical payments as well.
So if it goes to collection, it doesn't even hit your credit for a year.
Yes. And then once they're paid, they have to be deleted by law. So if you've been working with somebody and they have the medical collections, let's get them off their credit because that will boost their scores up and then get them into a better loan. So I'm gonna leave these just in case anybody wants to take a look at them, but basically that's what's happened. It started in July. So it's a little bit old school, but just in case you didn't know.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was fun. Thank you. All right. Is traveling title there?
Okay, so there are parameters on that?
Yeah, there are.
Hi, I'm Kelly with Traveling Title. I don't have any flyers. I'm not providing any breakfast. But I'll be at the breakfast and I would love to meet you. So come next week. Enjoy First Colony's breakfast that I've prepared for you to enjoy. And come meet me. I'd love to meet you. Love to work with you. Love to see what we can do to make your clothing better, your title experience better. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for attending our sales meeting. And I think we are done. Are we good, Alex?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Next time it is.
Yeah.